the Louisiana rental agreement. In this video, we will tell you about the most noteworthy aspects of rental agreements in the state of Louisiana. What is a rental agreement? A rental agreement, or a lease, is a document that outlines the arrangement between two parties regarding a property rental. The one who's paying rent is called a tenant, while the owner of the property, who lets the other party use it under certain conditions, is called a landlord. The parties may also be called a lessor and lessee. Typically, a rental agreement lasts for 6 or 12 months, with rent being paid every month or every week. There is one federal disclosure that works for all lease agreements in the United States. This is called the lead disclosure, and it requires the landlord to tell the tenant about all known lead paint hazards. They should also provide the state-approved version of the pamphlet, Protect Your Family from Lead in Your Home. However, this requirement applies to not all types of residential dwellings. Required disclosures. All other disclosures are optional in the state of Louisiana. However, it is recommended to include them in a lease agreement to reduce future conflicts or legal liability. Security deposits. According to the Louisiana Civil Code, establishing the maximum security deposit is completely up to the landlord. The landlord should return the security deposit within 1 month after the termination of the tenancy. The landlord can use the deposit to repair any property damages caused by the tenant using the damage listing sent to the tenant within a month after lease termination. If the landlord fails to return the deposit to the tenant, the latter may sue to pay $200 or actual damages, whichever is greater, plus reasonable attorney's fees and court costs. Landlord access. Louisiana does not require the landlord to notify the tenant before entering. Termination of agreement. To terminate a tenancy longer than month to month, at least a 30-day written notice is required. To terminate a month-to-month tenancy, at least a 10-day written notice should be sent by either of the parties. For a week-to-week tenancy, at least a 5-day notice is needed to terminate it. Notice periods for non-payment and non-compliance. If the tenant fails to pay rent or violates other terms of the lease, the landlord should give them no less than 5 days after receipt of the notice to pay or remedy the violation or vacate the premises.